noise!
Well, hello there. Welcome to the 2021 Truth and Rhythm Year in Review. This is the annual show where I review what's happened during the year. We look ahead, we talk music, we talk the best recordings of the year, what took place with Truth and Rhythm, all that great stuff. It's a little stormy outside, so perfect for the season, and I'm so glad that you could join me. I am your host, Scott Dr. Jakes Goldfine. And you know what? For this special occasion, I think a little different attire is in order. I'm going to put aside my usual customary Lakers cap, and we're going to put that aside for now because it's time for the holidays to break out this very special hat. Just like that, I'm transformed into Funka-Claus. That's right. Funka-Claus is here with you for Truth and Rhythm Year in Review 2021. We're going to talk personal and music updates and happenings. We're going to talk Truth and Rhythm, facts and figures from the year. We're going to look at some episode highlights. We're going to look at 2021's top 10 shows. We're also going to cover the top 25 albums of the year. We're going to honor those that we lost during the year. We're going to look ahead to 2022 with a preview of upcoming shows. Stick around until the end because if you saw it last year, you know it's a very enjoyable special feature, and that is our compilation of holiday best wishes from past Truth and Rhythm guests. Musicians and artists are coming on to share their best with you, wish you the health and happiness and all that good stuff for the coming year. We have almost 30 of them participating this time, so that's very cool. You don't want to miss out on that. And this great track that you've been listening to, it's probably about the funkiest holiday track I've heard in a long, long time, that's for sure. Appropriately, it's called A Funky Christmas, and it's by none other than Tommy Jenkins, singer from Cameo. And you can get this track at Amazon, at Bandcamp, and at other sources. So make sure you grab it for the holidays. Play it year round. It's funky enough to do so. Thank you very much to Tommy for letting us play that. A reminder what Truth and Rhythm is all about. It's the show that goes deep in the pocket with contemporary music's masters of the groove. It's here to preserve the legacies and tell those great stories of funk, R&B, and jazz artists and other figures related to those genres. Since the program launched in March of 2017, more than 225 episodes have been produced and over 500 hours of great in-depth interviews. My mission and vision for the program is quite simple. I want it to be the definitive interview that every artist that's featured has ever done in their careers. And what helps it be that way is the fact that I'm coming from a standpoint of music first. You know, some of the other stories and things like that are fine, but really the crux of it is getting to the center of the creative process of how music is created, how the songs are generated, how it's recorded, how it's performed, how shows are put on, the albums, the tracks, all of that. It's for music lovers who want to know the details. And it helps that it's being brought to you by someone who shares the passion for the music as much as the viewers do and has been following it ever since, it started in the 70s. That makes it different. And with that, right now, we're going to roll a clip telling you a little bit more about who I am, some viewer tips, and also give you a little more details about what's around me here in this studio that the show is always produced in. You can't always see these things, so roll the clip.
I am Scott Dr. Jukes Goldfine, musicologist and author of Everything's on the One, the First Guide to Funk. If you don't have your copy, be sure you get to Amazon and pick one up. You'll be glad you did. And, for those of you who don't know, I mean, it explains in the book, and you can find information elsewhere, but just real quick, my lifelong love of music, and especially funk music, goes back to my young teen years, and I've been loyal to it ever since, on a crusade to legitimize the genre in the eyes of the mass public, and just to do whatever I can to preserve the legacy of these great musicians and artists who have meant so much to me in my life. And I saw some of them were kind of fading away or leaving us, a lot of them far too young, and it was barely a ripple out there. So I want to make sure that people know who they are, respect them, respect the genre, and give it its due. And part of that is moving to a place where people like the Ohio Players and so many others that are not recognized by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will eventually be enshrined as so deserving to be. My background is very varied in the industry, from working for record companies, doing PR and promotion, longtime disc jockey, mobile disc jockeying company, and also working in various clubs in Los Angeles where I grew up, and rubbed elbows with some of the rich and famous out there when I did that. Also was a music critic for a long time, an entertainment writer, did some music magazines, Black Radio Exclusive, Inside Music and Video, and did a TV show in the late 80s, early 90s that reviewed albums. So all kinds of things tied to music, and I'm the one that oversees the funkinstuff.net website. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. So where do you find Truth and Rhythm? Well, I'm sure you're probably aware, but its primary home is at funkinstuff.net. It's also on YouTube, and it's also found on some other video providers like Vimeo and Daily Motion and things like that. And the audio-only podcast version is available from all leading providers, including Spotify and Apple and Google, and every place pretty much. To subscribe, if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Please do so. You can subscribe at YouTube. Tell friends, tell family, get them to subscribe. The numbers have been going up steadily, and it's great to build that community. And you know what? The more people we have as part of this Truth and Rhythm army, if you will, the more it legitimizes the music and the genre and the artists. And, the more it convinces guests that we might want to have on this program to participate, because the numbers show them that there's a tremendous interest level. And very exciting news is something that was recently added, and that's a Patreon program to have members for Truth and Rhythm. And this has lots of extra benefits and offerings, and I encourage you to please become a Patreon member. The Patreon program has 3 levels. There's Truth Believer, Truth Seeker, and Truth Crusader. And the basic one starts at only $3 per month. Truth Seeker is $5 per month, and Truth Crusader, the top level, is $15 per month. Go to Patreon /Truth and Rhythm to get all the information. Some people will ask, what do they see behind me during the show? And so I'm at this camera now. So if you look back there, there's some record awards, and the platinum one is for Prince Parade. And these are official record awards, not replicas. And you can tell that one's original because it has a cassette tape also. And then the other 2, the big gold one is for my all-time favorite album, Mothership Connection, Parliament. And the single is for Tear the Roof Off the Sucker by Parliament, off that same album. And then everything you see, the framed records and the pictures and all of that, they're all signed by the artists, like The Time and the Ohio Players with Sugarfoot and Funkadelic with George Clinton. On the bottom, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Ronald Isley, cameo. And over on the side where you can't see, there's Bernie Worrell and Gil Scott-Heron and the Isley Brothers and Graham Central Station. And if I switch to this camera, you can see over in that corner, there's George Clinton and Atomic Dog. Pictures above that of me with Bootsy and George Clinton. And back there, there's some books, music books. And then on the wall over there is sports stuff. So I'm a lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan and also Pittsburgh Pirates, which has been a rough couple of decades. And but I'm also a Lakers fan. I was born in Los Angeles, lived most of my life there, and that's the one local team that I gravitated towards, and I've always been a Lakers fan.
And back to Scott, Dr. GX here again. Besides those features, I want to let everybody know that in addition to Patreon, there's also YouTube memberships now, which is similar with 3 tiers. And so, if you're not doing Patreon, you might want to do it through YouTube. There's also Super Chat now. This is a new feature that came on in 2021. And every, usually Monday, Tuesday nights, sometimes Sunday nights too, if it's a 3-parter, we have the world premieres of the episodes. Those have live chats. So I encourage you to participate in those live chats. You never know. Sometimes I have the artist on there as well. And that's always a lot of fun too. I try to be on there as much as I can. I usually am. And you can at least interact with me and interact with other fans and just really, enjoy the live experience on those premieres. And there's a super chat feature where you can actually chip in some money to help support the program, which is always so much appreciated. Speaking of supporting the program, again, donations are welcome and encouraged. Think of this as kind of like a drive that you hear from NPR or something like that. This programming is really supported by you, the viewers. There's many ways to do that. You can donate at funkinstuff.net. There's a link at the top and also on the side of every page. You can also get merchandise like this, which is Truth and Rhythm merchandise, Funkin' Stuff merchandise. It all helps. And also buy the book. Everything is on the one, The First Guide to Funk at Amazon. Your contributions help elevate production of this program. Hopefully you've noticed a lot of enhancements that were done just during this year alone. Some of those include this high definition, cool PTZ camera, which, has zoom and pan tilt. It's got a lot of features that help enhance the show. And so now there's 3 cameras on the show when there was only 1 originally, then 2 last year. Now there's 3, including this very special camera. Also, there's a new microphone setup. It's higher quality audio. And there's another new mic, which I'm using for the first time here, just for this special, a lavalier mic. So always adding things. New PC for producing the program was brought online this year. New software. It's a much more involved production process with more graphics and effects. The Funkin' Stuff website, new graphics and elements on there. New promo photos that were shot during the year. Moved to Zoom as a primary platform during 2021. So there's more camera angles now in addition to the additional cameras. There's more apparel that I'm wearing during the show. There's more accoutrements in terms of atmosphere. There's different things added in the studio you can't see in this shot, but you'll see when I switch to the other camera. So not only am I investing love and passion in this with your support, but also constantly investing in equipment and software and ambiance elements and different things so that the show is not only more enjoyable and entertaining for you to consume, but also, it looks more professional and more interesting for prospective guests to see and be encouraged and excited about coming on the program. So all that support helps keep it going and feeds this funky engine known as Truth and Rhythm. And I'm so grateful to all of you for doing that. I mean, in case it's not obvious, it's pretty much a one-man operation. It's me. I'm the producer. I'm the host. I'm the writer. I'm the coordinator. I'm the recruiter. I do it all. It's a labor of love, as I've said, and I certainly enjoy it. And I feel like it's a mission of sorts to preserve these legacies of these great artists that don't get enough coverage or respect in general from most media sources that are out there. It's improved a little bit because there's so much media now. One time there was really almost nothing shining a spotlight on them. So it's improved a little, but I'm all about that. So, in addition to all those things, believe it or not, I do have a very demanding day job as well in the media business, putting in 50, 60 hours there, and another 20 hours or so a week on this show. It's a lot. And, again, that's why I appreciate your support so much. And all those comments and feedbacks I get are so fulfilling and rewarding. Thank you so much for those sentiments and for believing in the show and sharing it and letting others know and helping build the community. And as far as my gratitude and thanks go, I also want to make sure that I always thank Pleasure, the band, because the opening and closing music, it's so funky and so great. So thank you so much again to Pleasure. Support Pleasure. Buy their records. People may be curious why more of actual funk music isn't featured on the program. So that's because there's algorithms out there, there's copyright issues, and the algorithms pick that up and interfere with broadcasting of the program, especially through YouTube. So that's why you don't hear a lot of the music that we talk about actually on the show. So the idea is that you get all the stories here and go out and get the music, listen to it, check it out on YouTube, at other places on YouTube. Use this information, combine it with listening to the actual music. What? It's a Christmas miracle. Look what just appeared. Why, it's Everything Is on the One, the first guide to funk. How about that? Hey, you know what? If you don't have your copy, get on over to Amazon and pick one up. You'll be so glad you did. Also, it makes a great gift. There's just enough time to still get it in time for Christmas. So for your music fan, for yourself, get the book. Also, I know I've hyped it already, but get the merchandise. Get it now in time for the holidays, in time for Christmas. It makes a great gift for those music fans in your life. Or for yourself. You can never have too much of the apparel. I'm very grateful actually at the clip at the end of this program where the stars give their holiday greetings that I mentioned before. Carl Butch Small is one of those in there. I won't tell you who else is in it, but he's in there from P-Funk. And be on the lookout. He's wearing some Truth and Rhythm apparel in the clip, which is much appreciated. So it's stylish, it's hip, it's happening. Funkin' Stuff and Truth and Rhythm apparel. Get it, funkinstuff.net. So as we look back on the year that is almost completed, it certainly was a mixed bag, continued with the pandemic, and we thought we were over the hump big time in early summer, late spring. I actually went out and got back to live music for the first time since February of 2020. I got on Eric Gales on a show. That was a great concert here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And saw Grand Funk Railroad on July 4th for the first time ever. And I thought, wow, really getting up and rolling. Then we had the Delta variant come in and kind of shut a lot of things down again. And at least for me, I haven't been back out to live music since. So really praying that 2022 very much gets COVID in the rearview mirror for us, and that we get totally back to live performances and concerts. My heartfelt sympathies go out to those that have really been personally touched by the tragedy of COVID and that, have suffered themselves, have lost loved ones. Really, prayers go out. And gosh, I hope that we are really past it for the most part. During the year, I continued to try to make myself a little more svelte. I lost maybe 60 pounds last year, and this year I lost probably another 40. So I'm sticking with it. I hope to maybe go down another 20. Hopefully the year in review next year, I'll be 20 down from this, and I think that'll be enough. And then just maintaining is a big thing after that. So cycling all the time, people ask, it's about cutting calorie intake and being more active. It's really not that complicated. I've done it many times in my life. It's a matter of keeping it off. So, but we got to be healthy. I got back to traveling for the first time since February of 2020. I went out in July, and I've traveled 3 times since then. It is even less fun than it used to be in terms of the process, but destinations are not bad. But again, I'll be so glad. I just came back from a trip to Texas, and be so glad when maybe you don't have to wear masks again and go through all the hassles. I know everyone out there shares that. Thank goodness for YouTube during all of this, getting to see live music on YouTube and through Facebook. And, artists have continued to bring music to us in different ways, which has been wonderful that they've been able to do that. One thing I got to say, though, these verses things that have come up, I saw the Isleys and Earth, Wind, and Fire one. I recently saw the Shaka Khan and Stephanie Mills. We'll have mixed feelings about those. They're kind of fun if you're a fan of those acts, but they're not really all they could be. I'm all about the music, and those things really aren't. I guess they're okay for what they are, and they're not really verses. They're not really competitive. Let me know what you think of these verses. The best thing about it, I think, is that it shines light on those artists and gets some more attention again. And so I'm always for that. But at the same time, it doesn't really show what they can do. For example, if it was Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers actually on stage with full bands, and they were really letting the fur fly, then everybody would really see what they're fully capable of and the power of those groups and their catalogs. One thing I will say that I was very impressed with was the Paul McCartney series on Hulu with Rick Rubin. It was just the two of them in a studio going through all the Beatles tracks and deconstructing them. And, I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but I love the process and getting behind the curtain. And that's really what this show is about, and so I like that. I mean, I would like to take Truth and Rhythm to that level with a lot of the artists that are on here if we were able to do that. I'm hoping that in that same vein that we see other artists given that opportunity, like say a Stevie Wonder doing a show like that. But I recommend checking that out. Also, the Rick James documentary was very, very interesting on Showtime this year. And I particularly liked how they showed his earlier career before he became big as a funk star. And I mean, he was knocking around for 10 years at least before he actually got over with You and I, Mary Jane, and got his whole funk career going. So that was really cool to see. And some of the parts in it, just Berry Gordy's son telling a story of being in an executive's office with Rick James, and him doing some cocaine in there and some lewd things. So you got to see it and check it out. But it was a good doc. Really got to appreciate Rick James for what he did and not let all the other stuff overshadow it, because he was a great artist. Summer of Soul was a highlight of the year for sure. This was the Questlove, got the archival footage from New York in 69, I think it was. Same year as Woodstock, yeah. And what a great documentary, seeing vintage footage of such great artists like Mavis Staples and Nina Simone and Sly and the Family Stone and Stevie Wonder and just Gladys Knight. Oh, I loved it. And just seeing the culture and that snapshot in time, just fantastic. And I hear the soundtrack is finally going to be coming out early in 2022. So there's something to look forward to also. Let's have more documentaries like Summer of Soul. So also a highlight for me during the year was funk online radio and R&B online radio. And so check out this clip.
Funk radio out there, for those of you who don't know, you need to check it out on Spreaker.com and also pfunkradio.com. People like Ricky Vincent, well, he's been doing the history of funk forever, but that's also on the internet now, not just on the radio on Friday nights. And Gabe Gonzalez, known as Gonzilla, who's been on the show, he does a great show on Wednesday nights on P-Funk Radio. And Larry Funkster Jones, he does Saturday nights on P-Funk Radio. Phil Colley, he does Sunday nights now and also Tuesday nights. Uncut Funk, don't miss Phil. Also Robin Austin Denton, doing her show, The Circle of P, on Sunday mornings. And there's others too. I'm sorry if I'm leaving anyone out. but you can pretty much get a great funk radio show live online now just about every day of the week, or probably every day of the week, sometimes multiple times per day. Also, modern retro radio, great radio station online, and they actually sponsored a giveaway of Everything's on the One book giveaway. Thank you to them for supporting the show and for giving away books to viewers.
Hey, thanks once again, Scott. Great job. You keep coming through. I want to add to that a few that weren't mentioned, and that is Carly Doss's FJS, Funky, Jazzy, and Smooth with KD is another one that I'm pretty sure is on Spreaker, and that's on Saturdays. Raymond Smith's Good Vibrations is on Spreaker on Monday nights, playing some R&B and funk and all that good stuff. And Ron Beltz's DJ Dr. 2 Ice Cold Music Show, that's on Thursdays. So you want to also catch those. Speaking of radio, I was asked to do a funk special for Modern Retro Radio, which is modernretrofm.com online, great radio station. And they've, worked with Truth and Rhythm before, as I mentioned. And I did this funk special, I think it was in September that it aired. And it got such a great response. I picked my picks as the 12 greatest funk jams of all time, which was, challenging to do and fun to do. And I tell stories about them as well. Well, it did so well that they asked me to do a second one, which I did, that aired a month or two ago. And I picked the next 12. And that one got even better response, I believe. And so I've been asked to do a third one that's going to be in January. So look out for that. And hopefully many more funk specials throughout 2022 on Modern Retro Radio. If there's any themes that you'd like me to address on Modern Retro Radio, on those specials, write me and let me know. Another thing I'll say is that, during COVID, it seems like everyone has come out of the woodwork doing podcasts and things like that. And some of them are, of course, good and some are not so good. And it's ever more challenging to sort of weed through those and find enough time to look at them all. So, I like to think that, well, I really firmly believe that Truth and Rhythm is different from 99% of them, and better if you're a true music lover of funk, R&B, or jazz, because, this show goes deep with these artists and is not about, just sort of mindless, just chatter. It's educated discourse on the music and the music making and the artistry and the creative process. Most of those programs aren't. So I try to make the questions come from a place of knowledge and a place of curiosity and a place of education and a place of wanting to know more and wanting to allow these artists and musicians to tell their stories, tell their musical stories. And so I don't think there's too many shows out there that do it, and that do it with the types of artists that Truth and Rhythm does, and also that have a host that is entrenched in it for a lifetime and comes at it from the perspective that I do. So, the feedback I get seems to support that, and I hope you agree, and I hope you'll pass it along so that we keep growing. Some may wonder why this show is not live. Well, this show is not a live show because more care goes into it than that. A lot goes into the post-production, adding images, adding titles, and just making it a more enriched experience that also doesn't waste time with whatever might happen during a live broadcast. It cuts out potential technical issues that might run into. So, so many are live, and that's fine. And it's nice because you can kind of ask questions sometimes when it's live, but, you lose out all those other elements. And so Truth and Rhythm is pre-recorded and is all the better for it. Truth and Rhythm is about, again, preserving legacies. These interviews are designed to stand the test of time as documents, visual and audio documents of what these great artists were all about. It's about reverence to the music, and it's about you, the music lover, the viewer, the listener, and about our community, and about building the relationships, and about you reaching out to me and continuing to let me know who you want. Most of the time, when people reach out and make suggestions, you know what? I'm already on it, and I'm pursuing those people. But it just adds to it that I know I'm doing the right thing. And also, every once in a while, there are suggestions of folks that maybe I haven't thought of. So keep them coming. So 2021 was another great year for the program, another historic, if you will, year for Truth and Rhythm. Here's some facts and figures for you. 49 shows were produced during the year, about 100 hours of programming. Remember, you can always find a complete list of all the shows that have been done and also showing upcoming shows at funkinstuff.net under the Truth and Rhythm navigation item at the top. All the shows are there and they're all linked. So it couldn't be easier to see what's coming, catch up on those shows from the past. And again, the usual schedule. Programs premiere weekly on YouTube, depending on how many parts there are to an episode. Could be on Sunday, Monday, and or Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then on funkinstuff.net, all the shows premiere at once on that website. That's sort of the official premiere, with the YouTube viewings being sort of premiere premiere previews, if you will. And then the podcast versions, they premiere on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, depending on how many parts to an episode. So potentially there's Truth and Rhythm programming happening Sunday through Saturday. So potentially there's Truth and Rhythm programming happening Saturday through Sunday, or Sunday through Saturday, however you want to look at it. If it's 3 parts to an episode, it could be on every night of the week. During 2021, the Funkin' Stuff channel on YouTube gained nearly 2,000 more subscribers. And it's all organic, There's no big marketing that goes into this. It's about 165 new subscribers every month. People that love music, people that see the show, they can see what it's about, they can see how legit it is, how it's no filler, even though it's, they're long interviews and you got to stick with it, but they're in depth, they're meaningful, they're real, they're unique, they're distinctive, they're Truth and Rhythm. There are more than 250,000 views of Truth and Rhythm during the year. That's 4.2 million impressions of the program during the year. 54,000 hours or 3.24 million minutes of programming were consumed on the Funkin' Stuff channel, mostly Truth and Rhythm. That doesn't include outside of YouTube. There's other places like Daily Motion and things like that where it's aired as well. And also all of the podcasts. There's a lot of listening that goes on to the podcasts. So many millions are checking these shows out throughout the year. And that could not be more exciting and fantastic worldwide. Truth and Rhythm is a global phenomenon, baby. During the year, the show got 7,900 likes. 98% of all of the feedback were likes. Almost 4,000 shares during the year and over 1,600 comments. And I read every one of those. And if a response is needed, I respond where needed. I respond to every email that comes in personally. I provide feedback on the comments too. So keep them coming. The website, funkinstuff.net, traffic rose 14% during 2021 to an all-time high. So thank you again, everybody. Keep it coming. And I'll keep it coming. Okay? That's the deal we have. So let's roll, just as a review, the 49 shows that took place during 2021. So you can catch up, maybe reminisce on ones that you did see. There's a lot of people out there that watch the shows multiple times because they enjoy them that much. As you're looking at that, I just want to mention some personal highlights for myself. Byron Miller, who longtime George Duke bassist and Luther Vandross. He was a fantastic show, one of my favorites of the year. I'm actually going to name my top 15 personal favorites of the year. So that was first. Also, Bloodstone, Harry Williams and Charles McCormick. That was so much fun. And we also had Donald from the group on that one. Really, these guys were a lot of fun. Bernard Fowler, what a great historical perspective he gave. You know, background singer with Herbie Hancock and Rolling Stones. Actually, more of a lead singer with Herbie, but great stories with Bernard. Chet Willis of the Ohio Players. You know, I'm a huge Ohio Players fan, so it was just so fantastic to have Chet on the show. Walter and Scotty Scott, lead singers of the Whispers. Those guys were just a blast, kind of like the Bloodstone interview. They were just so much fun and really enjoyed that one. Robin Russell of New Birth. You know, it was great to finally have the New Birth story on Truth and Rhythm. And, you know, a little bit more on Robin in a moment. Sue Carwell, who has worked with Jesse Johnson and Prince, and man, she was just a delight, and her stories about Minneapolis and that music scene and other artists, just fantastic. Eric Ailes, probably my favorite guitar player today. I've been wanting him on for a long time. I've followed him since he was 15 years old, and it was just great to finally have Eric on. Marva King, similar to Sue Carwell, Marva King, singer with Prince, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. Fantastic stories. She was just a delight. Carl Butch Small, who I mentioned earlier, P-Funk percussionist. I really didn't know until I did that interview the extent of work he's done outside of P-Funk, which is just incredibly impressive and goes all the way through West Coast rap. Charles Wright of the Watts 103rd Rhythm Band. Express Yourself just begins to scratch the surface of that man. He's a living legend, and was just so glad to get him on the show. George Massenberg, the engineering icon who worked with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and many others. You know, I always knew that he was one of the people responsible for that incredible Earth, Wind, and Fire sound, and it was wonderful to have him on. Had the Holland brothers, Brian and Eddie Holland, the most successful pop producers and songwriters of all time with Motown. So that was just a unique honor. And then Andre Fisher, the drummer from Rufus. Oh man, I had no idea the depth of his knowledge, and that he was such a storyteller, talking about Natalie Cole, besides Rufus and Shaka and so many other people in the industry. That guy has, like, you know, 6 degrees of separation from almost anyone you could think of anywhere in the whole music industry. So that was incredible. And then rounding up my top 15, David Z, which was the last show interview for this year. Worked with Prince and worked with a lot of blues guys and associated Prince artists. So it was great to have him on and get those insights about Paisley Park and that whole side of things. All right, so after talking about all those shows, all those great shows, thank you so much to all the guests that joined me during the year. I enjoyed each and every one for sure. Now comes the time for the top 10 most viewed episodes during this year. Not necessarily episodes that were produced this year. They're the ones that were just watched the most during the year from January through December. And so, coming in at number 10, Greg Errico from Sly and the Family Stone Part 1 came in at number 10. Number 9, Matt Fink from Prince and the Revolution Part 1 came in at number 9 of the most watched shows of Truth and Rhythm during 2021. Coming in at number 8, Billy Beck of the Ohio Players. Number 7, Emilio Castillo from Tower of Power. Coming in at number 6, Wanda Hutchinson of the Emotions. That was so much fun, that one. And that's Part 1. Now in the top 5, number 5 is the guys from The System, David Frank and Mick Murphy, Part 1. Number 4, Lisa Coleman from Prince and the Revolution, Part 2 at number 4. And number 3, I was just saying how much fun it was to do, The Whispers with the Scott Brothers, Part 1. Number 2, most watched show during 2021, Lisa Coleman, Part 1. And the number 1 most watched Truth and Rhythm episode of 2021, drumroll, Ernie Isley of the Isley Brothers, one of my all-time favorite guitar players. Part 1 of his interview was number 1. And I'll tell you, I think that verses that I mentioned earlier between the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire, renewed interest, which is just, again, like I said, it's great. Whatever it takes to get the light shined on these great artists, I'm all for that, even if the actual execution of that program, may leave a little to be desired. But congratulations to Ernie Isley, number 1, and to everyone in the top 10. And now, new for this special, I'm going to give you the top 10 most commented on episodes of 2021. So which ones were the episodes that people felt the most compelled to share their feedback on and comment on and, share what it meant to them to see these artists tell their stories. So coming at number 10 on the most commented Truth and Rhythm episodes of 2021, Carl McIntosh of Loose Ends, Part 1. Number 9, Sue Ann Carwell, who worked with Prince, Part 2. Coming at number 8, Chet Willis of the Ohio Players, Part 2. Number 7 was the first part of Sue Ann Carwell. Number 6, more Prince-related people, Brown Mark, Part 1. Came at number 6 on most commented of the year. Number 5, most commented Truth and Rhythm episode of the year, Val Young from the Rick James Camp, Part 1. Number 4 was our number 1 for most viewed, and that's Ernie Isley, came in at number 4 most commented. Number 3 most commented episode was Chet Willis Part 1 from the Ohio Players. Number 2 was The Whispers, the Scott Brothers again, Part 2, most commented on. And number 1 most commented episode of Truth and Rhythm during 2021 was, drumroll, The Whispers, Part 1 with the Scott Brothers. Again, like I said, they were so much fun. People wanted to join in the conversation, which is fantastic. Hey, as we look back on the year in music, let's take a look and take a moment to sum up those that we lost during the year from the music industry. We lost a lot of great ones. When you look back, it's always more than you imagined in terms of the magnitude and scope of those that we lose during a calendar year. And during 2021, it was the first year of Truth and Rhythm that some past guests left this sphere and transitioned to another one. And so I want to especially give my heartfelt sympathies out to the families of Robin Russell of New Birth. He was 69. And also Leonard Doc Gibbs, best known for being a percussionist with Grover Washington Jr. and his band Locksmith. And Reggie Hargis from Brick. He was the guitar player and one of the co-founders of the band. He was 70 and he passed away in the fall of 2021. And Gibbs was 72, by the way. So again, prayers and sympathies out to the families of those artists. And I'm eternally grateful for them coming on the program. And I feel so honored and happy to be able to continue to share their stories through Truth and Rhythm. So if you haven't seen those episodes, catch up and check them out. And now let's talk about some of the other artists that we lost during the year. We're going to go chronologically from most recent to beginning of 2021. So we have Robbie Shakespeare of Sly and Robbie, the reggae dub rhythm section. He was 68 years old. Ralph Vieira Tavares of the group Tavares. He was 80. Greg Tate, noted journalist
music writer, phenomenal guy, and we lost him far too early, just this month at 64 years old. Melvin Parker, brother of Maceo Parker, who played drums with James Brown. He was 77. Ronnie Wilson, one of the three Wilson brothers forming the Gap Band. He was 73. Tommy DeBarge, who was bassist and a singer for Switch. He was only 64. Lee Scratch Perry, reggae songwriter and musician, very legendary figure in that field of music, 85 years old. Charlie Watts, the legendary drummer for the Rolling Stones, was 80 years old. We lost Roy Gaines, great blues guitarist. He was 83. We lost Walter Yentikoff, music industry executive for CBS Records, very famous for working with Michael Jackson and lots of other big stars. We lost Dusty Hill, one-third of ZZ Top. He was the bass player and singer and songwriter. He was 72. Rapper and actor Biz Markie, we lost. He was 57. We lost Roger Hawkins, drummer and recording studio owner for Muscle Shoals Sound Studio. Purvis Staples of the Staples Singers left us at 85. Lloyd Price, 88 years old, R&B singer. Al Schmidt, legendary recording engineer, was 91 years old. Shock G, lost far too young at 57, the frontman for Digital Underground. Another rapper, DMX, was only 50. We lost him early in the year. And another rapper, Black Rob, 51 years old. We also lost Morris B.B. Dickerson, the bass player for War. He was 71 years old. Malcolm Cecil, musician and record producer for Stevie Wonder. He was 84 years old. Paul Jackson, jazz bassist for the Headhunters with Herbie Hancock, 73 years old. Bunny Wailer, the Jamaican reggae star for Bob Marley and the Wailers. She was 73. Chick Corea, jazz keyboardist and leader of Return to Forever, was 79. Murray Wilson, one of the Supremes, was 76 years old. Bill Saunders, singer for Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Phil Spector, legendary record producer who created the Wall of Sound, was 81 years old. And finally, Duke Booty, rapper and songwriter, was with Sugar Hill Records and a lot of those great records and others besides that. He was 69. So again, most heartfelt sympathies and prayers out to the families, and may they all rest in musical, eternal peace, but with a cool groove. Hey, okay, well, now it's time for something a lot more fun than that, and that is talking about the here and now and the top 25 albums of 2021. Time for a drum roll again. These are in no particular order, except for the first 10 are my top 10, and then the other records for the top 25 follow. So we had Mofo Rising, the second record of this act, who is also part of a leader of Jagoff, and been making great funk for so many years. Dumpsta Funk with Where Do We Go From Here? Prince, we had that unreleased gem from 2011, finally came out, and it was better than I could have hoped for or expected, frankly. Mark Lettieri, the Baritone Sessions, Volume 2, fantastic instrumental funk, guitar player, plays with Snarky Puppy and many others. Danny Bedrosian and Brothers Nalbanyan, Garmir Caramel. Then this one just came out, Wooch, the last recordings, I believe, featuring Bernie Worrell, and actually it's back there on the keyboard, the cover to it, and that's by the indigenous American group called Kuich, and hopefully I pronounced that right. Defunk, So Horny. A lot of great horns, you know, it's aptly titled, but one of the best horn funk records of the year for sure. Next up is Treze Clinton. This is George Clinton's grandson and Junebug. which is really cool because it's got sounds of Junie and Bernie on there. And frankly, I don't see the album credits, so I don't know if it's really using their material, but it sure sounds like them. Exiles of the Nation makes it back again with Liquidation. I think this is number 16 album for Defiance Douglas, and he keeps it coming. Definitely check that one out. At number 10, The Funkinator. What the funk was that? And that's an alter ego of Phil the Funky Instrumentalist. So that's out of the bag. Next up, we had Robert Harper with the Funk Record. Great bass player. And we have St. Vincent, who's always done very eclectic music, worked with David Byrne and others in the past. This one is definitely her funkiest record, in my opinion. It's called Daddy's Home. Next up, George Porter Jr. and the Run-In Partners. And this is George Porter, of course, from The Meters. And he's been on Truth and Rhythm before. The album's Crying for Hope. Next up, we had a collaboration between Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. An Evening with Silk Sonic and Bootsy's on there. It's a lot of fun. It's nostalgic. It's a short record, but it is fun. There's a couple of funky tracks on there too. The rest are more R&B. Next up, we have Maurice Jackson with the Guitar YIR. I'm sure you may not be familiar with him, but again, he's a associate of Phil the Funky Instrumentalist, and he really taught him how to play guitar, Phil tells me, actually. And this is his, I think, debut record. It's all instrumental funk. Next up, we have Corey Wong. Corey and the Wong Notes. Corey is well known for playing on the jam band scene, the Snarky Puppy, and many others. Then we have WRD with The Hit, and that's a trio of 3 great artists that make up the W, the R, and the D. Go find it and see who they are. Next up, we have Damn Funk with Above the Fray. This is a instrumental kind of electronic funk with some hip-hop elements and influence. Then Amp Fiddler came back. Amp Fiddler, known for working with P-Funk in years past, he came back with Bass Mentality. Over from the UK across the pond is Joel Culpepper with Sergeant Culpepper. If you haven't heard of him, very intriguing artist, maybe the most intriguing from over there in terms of R&B and funk since Terence Trent D'Arby. Next up, we have Redenbacher's Funkestra with big band funk, and it certainly lives up to that title. Next up, we have Saul with Paint the World. He's put out a lot of records, heavily Prince and Minneapolis sound influenced, and he keeps it coming with this one. Next up, we have Booker and Bridges' Daylight. The album's called Jamdelic, and that Booker is none other than Maruga Booker, the percussionist from Detroit who's worked with the P-Funk All-Stars, and he was on the show during 2021, so check that out. Lastly, for our top 25 is the P-Union with Reflush It. They come back after Flush It with a follow-up that's just as fierce and funky, so make sure and check that out. Special mentions, Tower of Power put out a live record, 50 Years of Funk and Soul, so you want to check that out. It was recorded in 2018. Randy Muller presents Unreleased Volume 1, 1978 to 1985. That's a lot of tracks that Randy Muller from Brass Construction put together during those years with various acts, including Cameron and different people. Average White Band put together a compilation. There's a couple of previously unreleased tracks on there, but it's cover to cover, soul to soul, all cover tunes by Average White Band. Then moving over to blues, you want to check out, if you have any interest in blues or great guitar, don't miss Kingfish 662. That's Kristen Kingfish Ingram, young guitar player, phenom. Also check out Billy Gibbons. He put out, I think it's his second solo or third solo record now, but his best in my mind. It's called Hardware. And we may have lost, ZZ Top's bass player this year, but we certainly got a great album from Billy Gibbons, very bluesy. And lastly, Government Mule. Very recently, just in November, released Heavy Load Blues. The deluxe version is 2 CDs. And man, it is tasty blues with Warren Haynes on guitar. Check that out if, again, you like blues and you like guitar.
So as we look ahead to 2022, some of my biggest wishes that I like to share is a return to more live shows during the year. Let's get back to it. Of course, easing of the pandemic. We all want that. We need that. I'm tired of wearing masks. I know you are too. More funk. Can never have too much funk, of course. More funk-related books. Hey, if you're looking to put out a book, a lot of people come on the show. They say they got a book that's coming. Usually it never materializes, but I'm your guy. I can edit that book. Look me up. Contact me. I'll do you right. I think that we're going to be beneficiaries of the lockdown in terms of increased creativity and productivity. I talked about that before, but I think we're going to really see some innovation, some cool stuff coming out of this time that people were hunkered down and creating music. There's new platforms to share live music, and the process has changed, and technology now is more part of music than ever before. Let's make that in a good way, to continue to bring music rather than, lose out on the human element and musicianship. Here's to everyone's help in 2022. Keep at it, Maybe I can inspire you. I'll do my best to keep up with my regimen, if you will too. Let's see some new young talent during the year. We really need, the new Stevie Wonders and the new Princes and the new Sly Stones of the world. Are they going to come? Bring them on. The new Jimi Hendrixes, but not just replicating, but actually bringing something new and fusing it together for something fresh like Prince did. If you're a performer and you're funky, jazzy, make sure you come to North Carolina, preferably the Charlotte area. I got to say something about the reunions. I want to see more reunions of the original members of groups. But stop all the madness with all the acrimony that we see with the funk bands, especially from the past. I mean, you see with rock bands too, but they're at odds, and then you see different touring versions with different members of the groups, and they have so many lawsuits going. I've had so many interviews for this show derailed by lawsuits that are out there, and so they can't talk. How bad is that? You're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. You don't know how much more time you'll have on this planet, and you're being hindered by sharing your story by a lawsuit. Stop that madness. Bring it on Truth and Rhythm. Want more P-Funk? You never have too much P-Funk, and I was kind of surprised, actually, that during the pandemic, we haven't seen George Clinton put out new recordings. I hear there's stuff in the can. I'm sure there is stuff in the can. Let's release it, and besides George, some other great funk groups, release some real funk again. Bring back the legit funk. How about a P-Funk documentary movie, like a real one, not that tear the roof off that was just all like, hearsay, and well, it wasn't all hearsay. But it was negative. It was all negative. It wasn't so much focused on the music. Let's cover the entire story and get into the music and have it on a highly produced, theatrical budget type level to do it justice and make it 2-3 hours to have enough time to tell that story. Also bring on the Prince documentary. I know there was one in the works. I'm not sure what happened with it, but let's do something of quality that is befitting of that great artist. And more new albums, bring the albums. Albums still matter. I care about albums. Singles, it's okay. It's better than nothing. But, I want full conceptual albums that make sense, that have a flow, that have many good tracks, that hold together as one work of art. So, I don't care what they say about, downloads and it's only singles now. Bring the albums. Let's get the funk bands into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Stop this madness. Come on. Chaka Khan and Rufus, neither one is in the Hall of Fame. Can you believe that? The Ohio Players, not in the Hall of Fame. War, not in the Hall of Fame. Kool and the Gang, not in the Hall of Fame. Commodores, guess again. It goes on and on. Don't even start with things like Cameo. So it's just craziness. Get those acts into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I mean, fortunately, we do have the Funk Center and the Funk Music Hall of Fame in Dayton, Ohio, and they're doing their thing. And I'm proud to be associated with that as a funk ambassador. And so support that all that you can. And that's great. But come on, this is about this great art form getting its just due, being recognized as its own full genre of high regard. Put them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, people. It sickens me knowing some of the acts that are in there with these all-time greats excluded. So said my piece, write the Hall of Fame, do something to get involved and make it happen. Speak up. So right now, I want to give you a glimpse at what's coming in 2022 at Truth and Rhythm, and some of the shows we have lined up, or that I have lined up, they're lined up for you, include Fred Jenkins from the Gap Band and Rick James, guitar player. That's coming up. That's the first show of the new year. After that is James Alexander, the bass player from the Barcades. Excited to have him on. Then we have Joseph Bowie, the leader and founder of Defunct. Wow, those are hot shows. Alexander and Bowie back to back. Then we have Lynn Davis, the amazing singer vocalist for George Duke and so many other artists. She was just fantastic. Don't want to miss that. Then legendary guitar player Eddie Martinez, who played with Run DMC and Robert Palmer and so many. Then we have James Williams. That's James D-Train Williams of D-Train. And then Sir Jinx, the producer, who worked with Ice Cube and many other hip-hop artists, a little more funky hip-hop flavor into the program. And then after that, well, you're just going to have to keep tuning in to find out. I got to let you know that, on the funkandstuff.net website, under the Truth and Rhythm section, I've already said you can find listing of all the episodes with links and also the ones that are scheduled. I used to also put there the ones that were coming off in the future but weren't actually scheduled yet. And I have stopped doing that because I found that others were poaching the artists that I was listing. And I don't mind the artists getting on other programs. In fact, I'm all for that. But I don't want, my coattails to be ridden to do that and have those air before I air a Truth and Rhythm with the artist. So now I'm playing a little closer to the vest, trying to be a little smarter about it. And, we'll just all find out about it as a pleasant surprise when it gets scheduled. Artists, contact me. You know who you are. There's so many that I want on, and I have a long target list. And again, I'm not going to reveal that target list for the reason I just mentioned, but I'm actively pursuing dozens of artists that you want to see and hear. And I'm excited about them still to come. So in closing, I just want to again express my utmost gratitude with you, the viewer and listener, for continuing to support this show, to be interested, to support the artists and musicians that are on this program. Thank you from my heart, and especially to those that are able to contribute through being a member, donating, merchandise, the book, super chat, all those different ways that you can contribute. So much appreciated to help keep this thing afloat. Believe it or not, by summer of 2022, Truth and Rhythm will surpass 250 episodes. How about that? And the majority of them are at least 2 parts. Some are 3 parts. Some are even 4 parts. So, that's pretty massive. This is a rich archive of funk, jazz, and R&B that's being preserved for generations, is my hope, It's not just about us fans, but it's also about the young people being informed and passing it along and not letting this craft and these great works of art be forgotten or lost or underappreciated. Again, I'll say my modest ambition is for every Truth and Rhythm episode to be the best damn interview that artist has ever done. I don't always succeed. There's different reasons for that. Sometimes there's technical issues. Sometimes the guest maybe is not having a great day, whatever the case may be. But I feel that a lot of the time that goal is achieved. So I feel especially great about those shows and those interviews. Again, look out for my Modern Retro Radio Funk specials. There'll be one coming up in January and hopefully many more throughout 2022. That's modernretrofm.com. Also contact that radio station. Let them know what you'd like to see in terms of funk with Dr. GX. And let me know directly themes that you might like to have featured on that program. It's so great for me because, again, on this show, I can't really play the music because of the copyright issues. So being able to actually play the music that I love so much and that this is all about is just great to unleash and also share my personal stories and experiences related to those songs. So that's a lot of fun. With that, going to roll film, and leave you to it here. And again, thank you so much. Have a fantastic 2022. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And we ain't done. The stars are coming. Roll it.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carol being sung by a choir. And folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows that I'm wishing Truth and Rhythm and Mr. Scott Goldfine a very Merry Christmas and the happiest 2022. Peace, prosperity, health, love, all that is good God's given us.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donder and Blitzen. But do you all recall the most famous reindeer of all? Bow-legged Rudolph reindeer had a very bow-legged nose. I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a bow-legged year. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-loo. What's up, y'all? This is Bow-Legged Lou, wishing everybody a happy holidays to my Truth and Rhythm family. Stay blessed, God bless you, and keep kicking some freaking ass. That's a little Christmas house party style. Truth and Rhythm, nothing but support and love.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Champagne King, and I want to wish the Truth and Rhythm family the very best of the holidays and safe passage during these trying times. Here's to hoping music and love are 2022's most powerful forces. Health and happiness to you all. God bless.
Hi, everybody. My name's Andre Fisher. I was a recent guest on Scott Goldfine's Truth and Rhythm program, and had a good time talking to him and answering some questions. But this video is just to wish everybody a happy holiday with all the stuff that's going on, and to know that our time here on this little green ball is limited. So the quicker we huddle together and say our prayers, the better we'll be. But have a great holiday season in the midst of all this craziness, and be kind to one another. To be in the service of others is not always a bad thing. Thank you very much. Watch Truth and Rhythm, and have a great holiday season. Thanks very much. Bye.
Hey, everybody in the Truth and Rhythm family. I just wanted to wish you all the happiest of holidays, and wishing that wherever you are, you're with the ones that you love, and having special and loving times. Be well. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Jerry from the Jimmy Castor Bunch and Fatback Band. I don't know where you are, but here in Virginia, it's been pretty cold. So I'm wishing all of you Truth and Rhythm fans and listeners a very warm, healthy, and safe holiday season. Whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, or just the end of 2021 and praying for a better 22. So please stay safe and keep listening to Dr. GX, Scott Goldfine. But whatever you do, don't fake the funk. Keep it real, y'all. Peace.
Hey, This is Carl Butch Small, and I want to wish Scott and the Truth and Rhythm family and all the listeners and viewers a happy holiday. Stay safe out here and keep the truth with the rhythm, which is the music. God bless.
Hey, it's Michael Wave wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What's up, everybody? Truth and Rhythm people. I just wanted to wish you the happiest of holidays. Peace to you all, and a Happy New Year. This is your boy Ron Cat.
Hey, happy holidays. This is Barry's son, John Johnson, your favorite singing bass player. And I just want to say all the best to all of the Truth and Rhythm fans, the best to you, Scott. Keep on promoting live music and supporting live music. And it'll come back because that's where the true funk is. I wish you all the best. Be safe out there and see you soon. Peace.
Hello, this is Charles Glenn from Ozone. Hey, I'm wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And let's bring the new year in funky, baby. Let's get busy.
Happy holidays to the Truth and Rhythm family. This is Donald Brown from Bloodstone. Bloodstone wishes you all a prosperous and a happy holidays. Thank you. God bless. Peace.
Hi, this is Jay King, and I'm wishing Truth and Rhythm happy holidays and a Happy New Year.
Hi all, Dennis Chambers here. This is to Truth and Rhythm and to all your funky fans. May you have a great Christmas, a safe, blessed, unbelievable New Year, and see you soon. Peace out. Peace to the world out.
Yo, yo, yo. Hey, everybody out there. I want to wish y'all a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, and a really great new year coming in. And don't forget, make sure your head is adjusted just properly so you can wear your crown like you're supposed to. My name is Eric Gales. Peace.
Yo, this is Garrett Shider, a.k.a. the Star Child Jr., and I'm wishing all of the viewers and fans of funkinstuff.net happy holidays, a happy new year, and may you all have a prosperous 2022. Much love and funk always, y'all.
Hi, this is Peter Rivera, playing Santa Claus. I want to wish you a happy holidays to all the Truth and Rhythm podcast people and everybody. There is Truth and Rhythm. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hi, this is Robert Mercurio from Galactic, and I'd love to wish all the viewers of Truth and Rhythm a very, very happy holidays.
Hey everyone, Marlon McLean here. Want to wish you happy holidays and a very, very happy new year. See you soon.
Hey everybody, this is Bernadette Cooper from Climax. And to all my Truth and Rhythm listeners, have a blessed upcoming holiday season. But don't slap me.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Big Tony of the legendary Trouble Funk. Wishing all of you happy holidays. On behalf of the Trouble Funk family, y'all keep it funky out there. Peace.
Hi everybody, Kat Dyson here. Wishing you and yours a happy, healthy holiday season. Stay funky.
This is Dodge, star bass player with 7-Eleven, the funk band from Holland. Bootsy Infected, Triple Neutron Connected, Big Muff, Baseballs, Bass Whammy, FX25 Effected. Coming directly to you from a car stereo. Dodge is man's best friend. And I'd like to thank Scott, Dr. G at Goldfine for inviting me for the ultimate interview on the Truth and Rhythm show. And from all the Funketeers in Holland, we'd like to wish you happy holidays. And oh yeah, prepare for 2022, because I've heard there's going to be a mixing of fun and COVID. Why? For the funk of it.
Hi, this is
Garrett Willis with the Ohio Players. I want to wish all the fans of Truth and Rhythm very happy holidays, all right? Take care, be blessed.
Hi, my name is Robert Harper, and I'm wishing Truth and Rhythm, all its fans, Funketeers, a happy holiday season. Keep that funk alive, baby.
Hey, y'all, this is James Alexander of the Barcades. And for all the people that are into Truth and Rhythm, we'd like to say happy holidays, and we wish you a great New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the rest of 2022. Happy holidays to all.
Hi, this is G Sharp. I would like to, on behalf of my family, wish the Truth and Rhythm family a very happy holiday and a happy and prosperous and safe 2022. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, but one thing I know for a fact, music will always soothe the savage beast. With that, as always, imparting. Peace.
Phil Curtis, the Fatback Band. From the Fatback Band to the Truth and Rhythm family, we would like to wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy, Happy New Year. And may the funk stay in your face, y'all.
Hey, we're back. Wow, wasn't that fantastic? Thank you so much to all those past Truth and Rhythm guests who sent out those greetings. Thank you so much for doing that, guys. And I have with me another very special guest. It's my son, my pride and joy, Nathan.
I just wanted to wish you all a happy holiday and keep on funking, and also to thank you all for supporting my dad here, who I'm very proud of, and I just want to thank him too for keeping the funk alive and doing all the work he does to do so.
Thanks, Nate. And with that, God bless and Happy New Year. Here's to a new year of finding truth in rhythm.